has it been?
Forever.
You think she's going to lose the baby?
I don't know.
Marlowe, please call your service. Dr. Marlowe, please.
What did Russ say about it?
He said it didn't look good.
Is there a chance that she...
Die? Yeah, there's always that chance, but it doesn't seem likely.
Rick, I'm really sorry all this is happening.
Thanks. I appreciate that. How is she?
Rick, I think I'll get a cup of coffee. I'll check back in a few minutes.
You didn't answer my question, Russ. How is she?
She's all right. She's resting now.
And the baby?
Rick, I'm sorry.
Cecile.
Jamie, is that you?
Yes.
Are you in your office?
No, that's why I'm calling.
Where are you? We've been looking for you all day.
This is the first chance I've had to get to a phone.
Where are you, and what have you been doing all day?
I'll tell you later.
Jamie, why can't you tell me now?
Just tell Mac that I'll be in a little while.
Well, what's a little while?
As soon as I can.
All right.
Your Honor, I would like to stress that the next witness I call be regarded as a hostile witness. Now, hostile not only because of his involvement in this case, but because of his relationship to the defendant as well. Your Honor, I would like to call to the stand Police Officer Larry Ewing.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated. State your name and occupation.
Lawrence Ewing. I'm a police officer for the Bay City Police Department.
And now, the continuing story of Another World.
How are you?
I'm sorry, Rick. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Shh. You know, you're a very pretty lady.
We lost our baby.
It wasn't your fault. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. But we can have other children.
But I wanted this baby. Our baby.
I know that. But we can have another baby. I promise you that.
I love you so much, Rick.
Oh, I love you too.
Mac, you wanted to see me?
Oh, yes. Have you heard anything from Jamie yet?
No, I haven't. I'm beginning to get worried. I don't understand why he hasn't called.
I just cannot understand why he hasn't bothered to let anybody know where he is.
Well, maybe he's just forgotten.
I'm particularly surprised, if you weren't going to be here, that he didn't say something to you about it.
Well, he's been so busy lately. I'm sure whatever he's doing, it must be very important. He's been doing so well these last few weeks, Mac. I can't imagine it'd be anything more than an oversight. But if there's something you wanted him to do, maybe I could help.
Well, there's something I wanted both of you to do, actually.
Oh, what?
Preston Landers, who you know is one of Brava's biggest advertisers, is in town briefly. I wanted you both to take him to lunch, give him the VIP treatment.
Well, I could still do that.
Yes, I suppose you could, but it's just so important that Jamie talk to him and be there. But, well, since he's not available...
Well, I'll go make the reservation.
Oh, Liz has already done that.
Oh. Well, do you want me to have Mr. Landers picked up at his hotel?
No, the arrangements have already been made. He has other things to do in town, so you're to meet him at L'Auberge at 12:30.
Okay, I'll be there. Mac, I have an idea.
What's that?
Sandy has been working very closely with Jamie. Maybe it'd be good if he came along. He could help me to answer any questions on things that they've been doing.
Very good idea. See if he's available.
I will.
Mr. Ewing, you have been with the Bay City Police Department for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes.
And what rank do you hold?
Detective.
And in what department?
Homicide.
Yes, but you were only recently transferred to the homicide department, is that correct?
That's right.
Before that, what department were you with?
Narcotics.
But for the last few months, you had been involved in quite an unusual assignment, would you say?
Well, that depends on what you consider unusual.
Well, let's just say that it had nothing to do with your activities as a narcotics detective. Right?
That's right.
So, would you please explain to the court what that assignment was?
I was involved in an undercover investigation.
And who was the object of this investigation?
Jordan Scott.
Why?
He was believed to have been involved in several illegal activities.
What kind of illegal activities?
All kinds of them. He was suspected of murder of several people.
Uh-huh. All right, now who knew about your undercover assignment?
Captain Petroni and Jerry Grove.
Now, this is the same Jerry Grove who is now acting as one of the attorneys for the defense, right?
Yes, he is. He was my contact.
Now, can you tell me what this kind of undercover work entails? I mean, how do you go about setting up something like this?
Well, I tried to win Jordan Scott's trust.
How'd you do that?
I borrowed a large amount of money from him to buy a house.
You felt you could gain his confidence by borrowing money from him?
I believed that he would feel that I owed him a favor.
I see. Well, all right, what else did you do to gain Mr. Scott's trust?
We made it appear that I was fired from the Bay City Police Force so I could go to work for Jordan Scott. In fact, I think you had a hand in accomplishing that, Mr. Colton.
Yeah, I believe I did. So, you wanted to work for Jordan Scott, right?
Yes, I wanted to get in closer contact with what was going on around him. Jerry and I...
It's Jerry Grove, yes.
We staged a fight, so it would look like we had a falling out.
For what purpose?
So Jordan would think that I was cutting all my ties.
Well, all of these machinations that you were putting yourself through, what did you hope to gain by them?
Proof. Jordan Scott was connected with the underworld. The Bay City Police Department had unsuccessfully tried to get that proof for a long time.
Uh-huh. And you thought that by going undercover, you would be able to do this?
Yes.
And did you?
No.
Well, it seems to me, Mr. Ewing, that you missed a pretty good bet.
What do you mean?
Well, I would have thought that you could have saved yourself an awful lot of time and effort by simply asking the one person who could be most useful to you. I'm talking about your sister, Blaine Ewing.
Oh, Jamie, I'm sorry to bother you. I know you just got in your office. You haven't had a chance to check what's on your desk. But if you don't think you have anything urgent for me to do for you this afternoon...
Wait, slow down, Liz. What's wrong?
Marianne,
How is she?
she's had a miscarriage.
Yes, I know. Has there been any further word?
I don't know. Russ just called me and said she was at Bay City General, so I want to go see her this afternoon, take the afternoon off.
Yeah, that's fine, Liz. If anything comes up, we'll have someone else handle it.
Well, thanks so much, Jamie. Oh, almost forgot. You better go see Mac right away. He's been looking for you all morning.
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Colton is implying that my client was directly involved with Jordan Scott's gambling activities. That has not been clearly established.
Sustained. Remark will be restricted from the record. Mr. Colton, you'll be more careful in how you phrase your remarks.
Of course, Joe. Now, tell me something, Mr. Ewing. Was your sister ever aware of your undercover assignment?
No. I mean, at least not at first.
Well, but then she did find out about it.
Yes, but not till much later.
But you didn't tell her about it when you first started on the assignment?
No, I did not.
So then she believed everything that you were doing. I mean, borrowing the money, buying the house, quarreling with your friends. She swallowed all of this hook, line, and sinker.
Objection. That calls for an opinion on the part of the witness.
I disagree, Your Honor. It would seem to me that the witness would be able to tell whether or not his own sister was believing in his cover.
Objection overruled.
Now, Mr. Ewing, did your sister ever indicate that she knew what you were up to?
No. In fact, several times, she asked me not to work at the arena or for Jordan Scott.
Well, I'm just curious about one thing. Why you never told her that you were working on this undercover assignment?
I had my reasons.
Well, I'm sure you did, but it would seem to me that because of her close relationship with Mr. Scott, she would be in a very good position to help you out.
I didn't want her to get involved.
You didn't want her to get involved? Well, I find that very hard to believe. I mean, it would seem to me that she was already very much involved.
I had my reasons, right?
What reasons?
Jordan was a dangerous man. If he ever found out that my sister knew anything about my undercover operation, they could put her in a very dangerous position.
To say nothing of what might have happened to you had your sister made an accidental slip of the tongue.
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, Mr. Ewing, it was very noble of you to protect your sister like that.
So what are you getting at, Mr. Colton?
Well, just that perhaps your concern for your sister wasn't your prime motive in not telling her.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, maybe your real reason for not telling her is that you weren't quite sure that you could trust her.
That's not true.
Isn't it?
No, it's not.
No more questions.
Can you tend bar?
Sure, done it lots of times.
Well, I might need a bartender to work nights.
Well, that'd be great, Mr. Dunlap.
No, please call me Jason.
Sure, Jason. When'd you like me to start?
Drop in tomorrow night. We'll show you the ropes.
See you tomorrow night. Look, do you mind if I use that phone? I'd like to call my girl, tell her the good news.
That's what it's there for.
Hey, Bert. It took some fast talking, but I'm in. Well, no, Blake isn't here. He isn't even back in town yet, is he? Uh-huh. Well, don't worry. When he gets here, he won't get out of my sight. Right. I'll talk to you later.
Who's this? Jerry, I thought you were in court.
Well, I am, but they've taken a 10-minute recess before Brian starts cross-examining Larry.
How's it going?
Well, not very well, I'm afraid.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, Rick, have you been able to find out anything?
Not yet, no, I haven't.
How come? Rick, I can't tell you how important it is to get whatever you can turn up.
I'm here at the hospital. Marianne just lost the baby.
Oh, look, I'm really sorry.
No, it's all right. You didn't know.
Well, how's Marianne doing?
She's okay. She's sleeping right now.
Okay. I'm really sorry, Rick.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Look, I'll get back to what I was doing as soon as I can pull myself together here.
No, we can manage. Now, your place is there with Marianne. And give her my love, will you?
Sure.
Bye.
Who was that, Rick?
It's Jerry Grove.
What did he want?
He's at the courthouse. He wanted to know how my research was going.
Is Blaine all right?
She's fine.
The trial?
That is not going too well.
Yes, of course. I have all of those figures. Come in.
Matt.
Well, we can discuss it at more length at the board meeting. Fine. I look forward to seeing you then. Right. Goodbye.
Hello. Made it sound urgent. Liz made it sound urgent. You wanted to see me?
Not exactly urgent. Serious would be a better choice of a word.
I don't understand.
Where have you been?
Why?
That's no answer, Jamie.
I went over to Pat's to see Rick.
You were supposed to be in here at 10 o'clock.
Yes, that was my original plan.
And you weren't here when you said you'd be.
No, something very important came up, Matt.
Look, Jamie, I understand that there can be something unexpected that comes up. I cannot understand why you wouldn't let me know about it. Things do come up here, too, you know.
But, Mac,
Brava's biggest advertiser is in town very briefly. It was quite important for you to talk to the man, to take him to lunch.
Mac, I did call in.
Oh, really? Well, when?
Well, I'm not sure what time. It must have been around 10 or 11. I told Cecile to tell you I was tied up.
Well, Cecile isn't aware of that call.
What?
However, she took Mr. Landers to lunch.
Oh?
And she took Sandy with her.
Sandy?
Yes, she felt, and quite rightly, that since you were not available, Sandy might be able to answer some of the questions Mr. Landers would ask her that she couldn't answer herself.
Mac, I'm sorry I wasn't here, but I had no way of knowing that Landers would be in town.
Jamie, you simply must realize that last-minute situations do arise here, too. And the very least you could do is let somebody know where you can be reached if you're not going to be here during your working hours.
It won't happen again, Mac.
Now, Larry, was your wife at any time aware of the undercover assignment that you were involved in?
No, she wasn't.
You mean you never told her what you were doing?
No, I didn't.
Was this because you didn't trust her?
No, of course not.
And would you tell the court why you never told your wife?
Like I said, Jordan Scott was a very dangerous man. I did not want my wife or my son to be involved.
So, in effect, you concealed what you were doing in order to protect your family.
That is correct.
And is that also why you never told your sister?
That's right. Absolutely. I mean, she had enough problems. I didn't want to add to it.
Thank you, Mr. Ewing. Your Honor, I have no further questions from this witness, but I may want to call him at a future time for more questioning.
Very well. You may step down, Mr. Ewing, but please remain in court.
One moment, Your Honor. I would like to re-examine the witness. I still have a few more questions to ask you.
Very well. Please sit down, Mr. Ewing.
Our circulation figures show that there is a monthly growth of at least 15%. In fact, Brava's doing so well that we're opening up a European office based in London. We expect it to be operational within 2 months. Now, naturally, the European edition will be slanted to that particular market. But we hope to have a great deal of exchange between the two markets.
I'm very impressed with your knowledge of the magazine, Mrs. Frame.
Cecile, please.
Cecile. But you really don't have to impress me. We've been with Brava almost from its inception. And I must say we've never been disappointed in the results we get from advertising with your magazine. Good. In fact, we're considering expanding our ad campaign.
Oh, well, I hope that I can convince you that would be a very wise move, Mr. Landers.
Preston.
Preston, okay.
I must admit I've always had a good time when I visited here in Bay City. Mac Corey's always been very good to me, but I think this time he's outdone himself, sending you to entertain me.
Oh, that's too kind of. I only wish that you could have met my husband, whom you know is managing publisher. But unfortunately, he had some very important business that couldn't be delayed. Isn't that right, Sandy?
Yeah, sure.
But Sandy works very closely with Jamie. And if you have any questions, I'm sure that he could answer them for you.
Well, frankly, I can't think of a thing.
Come in.
Mac, are you busy?
No. Anyway, I want to talk to you.
Oh, well, if it's about that luncheon. Oh, it went beautifully.
Oh.
Mr. Landers, I believe, wants to increase the size of his advertising with Brava. And I must say, Sandy had a great deal to do with it. I'm amazed. I never realized before how involved he was with Brava, how much he knows. I don't think I could have handled that lunch without him.
He's a very smart boy.
Yes, he is. Is there something wrong, Mac?
I'm not sure.
What do you mean?
Jamie was in here a little while ago.
Oh, so he's back here at the complex?
Yes, finally. He told me that he told you when he called up that he was going to be late.
Yes. I don't know why I forgot that, but now that I remember, he did call.
You don't have to cover for him, Cecile.
Well, Mac,
Sometimes I just cannot understand, Jamie. I mean, I can understand an unexpected crisis, somebody forgets to call in, but he didn't even try to offer me any kind of excuse for what happened. And then to just flatly lie about him calling you.
Please don't be angry with him. Maybe it's the pressure again.
How can it be pressure? I've done everything I can to lighten his workload, even assigning Sandy to work with him. Cecile, I just don't know what else to do.
Now, Mr. Ewing, you mentioned earlier that your sister did eventually find out about your undercover assignment.
Yes, she did.
Well, did you just finally decide to tell her, or did you decide that she was no longer in danger? What?
No, she found out by accident.
Well, that was careless of you after all those elaborate plans. Well, would you please explain to the court exactly how she found out by accident?
Well, I became aware of a certain document that was Mr. Jordan Scott's.
What kind of document was it?
It was a book in which Jordan Scott kept all of his legal records.
Ah, yes, the mythical black book.
It was not a mythical book. I've seen it.
You have?
Yes, well, I think so.
You think so? You don't know for sure?
I came into Jordan's office on several occasions, and he was writing in this book, and he put it away in his drawer.
So you have never really seen the book, for sure?
No.
And you have no first-hand knowledge of what the book contained, if indeed it did exist?
No.
And you haven't been able to find this book since Mr. Scott met his untimely death?
No.
So then you still do not know for a fact that the book exists?
No.
All right. Well, then, let's get back to my original question about your sister accidentally discovering about your working undercover. Now, I believe you said that you had learned of the existence of the book, right?
Yes, so I decided that one night I would go into Jordan's office to look for this book. And when I got there, my sister was looking for the same book.
It's coincidental, isn't it? But the two of you did not find the book, huh?
No.
But then you did confide in one another.
Yes.
And it was then that you realized that you were both on the same side, huh?
Yes.
But up to that time, you never really knew where your sister stood, did you?
Well, I had some doubts for a little while.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Bancroft, do you wish to re-examine at this time?
I have one question, Your Honor, but I would still like this witness to be held over for further questioning.
Very well.
Mr. Ewing, as a police officer, in your opinion, is Blaine Ewing capable of killing anyone?
No.
That's all for now, Your Honor.
You may step down, Mr. Ewing, but please remain in court. Mr. Colton, does the prosecution have any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor. At this time, the prosecution rests its case.
Hi, kid. Hi, yourself. Here's some things. Thanks. How you feeling?
Better?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
No, I mean it. Marianne, I have been very hard on both you and Rick. You know, about what Cecile said and everything, and you just have to know that I never wanted anything like this to happen.
Oh, kid, I certainly don't blame you for this. And I'm fine, really.
You sure?
Yeah, I will be. I just wanted this baby so much.
I know. There. I know.
Oh,
Don't get upset. I didn't want you to do that. Here. Thanks. Oh, better?
Yeah, I think so. Kid.
Yeah.
Would you look after Rick while I'm in the hospital? I don't want him to be alone.
Sure.
I'm just really worried about him. He really wanted this baby.
No, wait. Marianne, don't worry about it. I'll be with him. And in a day or two, so will you.
I just hurt so much for him right now.
Larry, are you all right?
Not really, honey. I feel rotten about what happened in there.
You just told them the truth.
I know.
I don't see how this could hurt Blaine, not really.
And Colton just twisted everything around.
What do you mean?
Well, he made it seem like Blaine was involved in everything, and I knew about it.
You knew that it would be too dangerous for her to know.
That's only part of it.
Part of it?
Colton's right. There was a time when I didn't trust Blaine. I didn't trust my own sister.
Inasmuch as the hour is getting late, I see no reason for the defense to begin presenting its case at this time. Do you agree, Mr. Bancroft?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then we will adjourn until Monday morning at 10 o'clock.
All rise.
Poor Larry. He tried so hard.
Colton really boxed him into a corner.
Well, I think we still made some points. At least this part is over.
It's not going very well, is it, Brian?
Oh, now, Blaine, there's no reason to give up hope.
I don't know. He presented such an impressive case, I think that if I didn't know better, I'd believe that I planned to kill Jordan.
Don't say that, Blaine. Now, we still have plenty of time. Now, Rick is trying to find out what that bottle was in the photograph. You'll have an answer soon.
When?
Well, I'm not sure. He had to stop what he was doing because of Marianne.
Marianne?
Yes, she lost the baby this morning.
Oh, no. Is she okay?
Well, I think so.
How did it happen?
Well, he really didn't go into it, Brian.
If you see Rick, will you tell him I'm sorry?
Sure.
What do we do now, Brian?
Well, Monday morning, we start presenting our case.
Yeah, and we are going to start off with a bang.
What do you mean?
Well, we have two high-powered witnesses to present.
Who?
Sandy and me.
Sandy, I really appreciate you coming over. I don't know why I left this file at home this morning, but I know you get into work earlier than I do, and Mac wants to see it first thing. So, if you don't mind.
No problem at all.
Good, I really appreciate it. Listen, I was just about to have a glass of wine. Would you like to join me?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I really should be going. No, thanks.
Oh, you have some plans for this evening?
Well, no, nothing definite.
Oh, come on, then I insist. One glass of wine.
Well, okay, but only one. I can't stay long. My shadow's in the car waiting for me.
Oh, that's right. You have a bodyguard now, don't you?
I'm afraid so. Doesn't make for much of a social life.
No, I don't imagine. Sandy, I really want to thank you for helping me at lunch today.
There's nothing to thank me for. I didn't do anything.
That's not true.
Well, all I did was sit and listen. You did all the talking.
But you gave me a lot of support, and I appreciate that.
Sandy? Jamie? Cecile?
Jamie, where were you? Mac was looking for you all day.
I've talked to Mac.
Oh, you have?
Yes, that's right. I'd like to know what you think you're doing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I called you this morning to tell you I was going to be late. I asked you specifically to tell Mac. Why didn't you?
Oh, Jamie, look.
He was all over me because you hadn't given him my message.
I really think I should be running.
No,
along,
Sandy,
so...
stay.
Listen, I don't want to be in your way.
No, you won't be in our way at all. Cecile likes audiences. Well, Cecile, you haven't answered my question.
All right, Jamie. You did call me. And I forgot to tell Mac. Now, does that make you feel better?
Not when you say it like that.
How would you like me to say it?
Never mind.
I think I should be running along.
Sandy, thank you again for picking up that file. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'll get it to Mac first thing.
Now, suppose you tell me where you were all day.
Marianne was asleep when I left. I think she's going to be all right.
She is going to be all right. That's what really matters.
Thank you for asking me to stay.
I'm glad you took me up on it.
So am I.
Well, at least you have somebody to be with until Marianne gets out of the hospital.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. So the place doesn't look any different from when I left.
Rick, you don't have to put up a front with me. I know you're hurting. You don't have to hide it.
Thank you.
Please, don't hold everything in. You've done that for too many years. Please.
Look, I have to leave now. You okay?
Yeah, I guess so.
Look, I know things don't look too good right now, but we are going to beat this thing. You'll see.
Jerry, I know what you're trying to do. That's what counts. Brian told me you're going to be the first witness they call.
Yeah.
That means that Zachary Colton will get a chance to cross-examine you.
Yes, but don't worry about it, because Brian will redirect and clear up any misconceptions that Colton tries to present.
Are you scared?
No. Look, I know you. And Blaine, I believe you, and we are going to make that jury believe you, too.
I hope you're right.
Well, where were you?
That isn't important.
Oh, it is important.
If what?
You weren't by any chance seeing Marianne, were you?
Marianne lost her baby today.
And how would you know that?
I was over at her mother's apartment when it happened. I took her to the hospital.
Why were you at the apartment?
I was supposed to meet Rick there.
Why didn't Rick take Marianne to the hospital?
Because he wasn't there.
How convenient.
I never got his message.
What message?
that he wasn't going to be there. He left it for me at the complex, but I never went there.
Oh, this whole thing sounds really coincidental.
Let's just end this discussion. I'm very tired of the third degree. Marianne lost her baby today. And I find it hard to believe that all you can do is make something out of nothing.
I'm sorry that Marianne lost her baby. But it does make it rather convenient for the two of you now.
What do you mean by that?
Because now, we won't have to wonder whose baby it really was, will we?
You want some company?
Yeah, I'd like that.
I'm sorry about what happened in court today.
You didn't do anything wrong.
But I wanted to help you. I wanted to do that more than anything in the world.
I know. Listen, don't blame yourself. You only told the truth. Besides, I've never given you any reason to believe that you really could trust me.
Blaine, you're my sister, man. You know, I trust you. I just didn't. I don't know why.
It's all right. I understand. Larry, I've been thinking there's something that scares me.
What's that?
What's going to happen when they call the other witnesses?
What do you mean?
If the prosecution could get my own brother's testimony to turn against me, what's going to happen with those other witnesses?
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.